Hi guys, we are talking about section 8D now, which is going to be calculating the surface area of rectangular prisms. So first of all, let's get a definition for surface area. Surface area is if I wanted to take a rectangular prism, so a solid shape, and if I wanted to paint it or wrap it and cover the complete surface, that's surface area. And it's an area measurement, so it's going to be inches squared, feet squared, meters squared. It's going to be in squared because it's an area measurement. So it's the total surface area of a 3D object. We might think of it as the area of the faces added together. So in the object we're going to look at, there will be 6 faces, so it will be 6 faces added together to give us the surface area. A net is a 3D object that's laid out flat. Again, its label is squared. For example, it'll be inches squared, feet squared, meters squared. So I've got a net here. This is a net. It kind of looks like a T shape. There are other ways that you could make a net. This is one possibility. And I could take this net and fold it on each of these dotted lines and then put it together, and I could make my rectangular prism. So I have my rectangular prism here. If I taped it together, it would stay together. It's just a 3-dimensional rectangle. It has length, width, and height. Okay? And again, I can take that apart then and make my net. So there's my net. All right. So you can see that in my net, I have 6 total rectangles, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and that there are 2 of each sides. So this top matches the bottom, right side matches left side, and sides match sides. Okay, so let's look at the math behind this. All right, so we've got, here's our shape. So we're going to make our net. Now, we're going to have 3 different size shapes. We're going to have a smaller shape, a medium-sized shape, and a larger shape. We're going to have the top opposed to the bottom. We're going to have the left, and on the other side of that will be the right. And then we're going to have the front and the back. Okay, so I'm going to lay out my shape here, and I'm going to have my front side right here. So this is my front. And my front side is going to be a 10 by 5. So it's 10 here, and 10 here, and 5 here, and 5 here. So that's my front. Now attached to my front then is going to be my top and my bottom. All right, so I'm going to put my top up here. This is my front. Here will be my top. So this is my top right here. This is the shape right here that I'm talking about. And this shape is 2 centimeters on the edges. And it's 10 centimeters on the long side. So that's my top. This is my front. I'm going to put my bottom here. My bottom is this one that we don't see. It's sitting underneath this top. So it's going to be the same size as the top. So it's a 2 by 10 by 10 by 2. All right. So I've got my front. That's this side. I'm going to put my back here. So this back is on the opposite side of this front. So it's a 10, 10. It matches the front. So it's a 5 by 5. So you can see from my rectangular prism so far, I've got my 4 rectangles that make the box part. Okay, now I need the 2 ends, right? And so my ends are 5 by 2. So they're going to match up right here. They're going to make my T. And this is 5 here and 2 here, 5 here and 2 here, and they're also 2 here. Okay, and those are my right and left sides, so right and left. Okay, so my top is going to be, my top and bottom here are my 10 by 2s. All right, hope I didn't label those. Let me label those for you. Okay, so this was my top. That's this one. This is my bottom. That's the one underneath here. That's my front. Here's my back. Okay, so we're going to have small, medium, and large sizes here. So our front is going to be our biggest size. That's the biggest two numbers, 10 by 5. We've got 3 numbers that we're dealing with here. We've got a 10 and a 5 and a 2. Okay, so our biggest shape is going to be made with the biggest 2 numbers, the 10 by 5, and that's going to be the front and the back. So this is my 10 by 5, and that's going to be my largest shape. And then I've got my top and my bottom here, which is my medium shape, and that's going to be my 10 by 2. That's going to be the largest number and the smallest number. And then the 2 smallest numbers are going to make my smallest shape, which will be my left and right, my 5 by 2. Okay, so I've got 2 of each one of these. So 10 by 2 gives me 20. And remember, these are centimeters. But there's 2 of them, so I'm going to multiply that by 2 so that I'll have 40 centimeters squared for the top and the bottom. All right, so that's this top and this bottom together make up 40 square centimeters. Then my left and right are my 5 by 2s. Those are 10 centimeters squared. And of course there's 2 of them, so that gives me 20 square centimeters. And then finally I've got my 10 by 5, which is my back and my front of my back, my back and my front right here. My 10 by 5 is the biggest ones. Lost myself in the problem there for a second. And those are centimeters squared times 2, which would give me 100 centimeters squared. All right, so when we add all these up, we've got 40 plus 20 plus 100. 40 plus 20 is 60 plus 100 is 160 centimeters squared. So what we're saying is, if I wanted to paint this, cover all the surface with paint, or if I wanted to put some wrapping paper, if I wanted to wrap this box because it was a present, I would need 160 square centimeters of wrapping paper or paint to put on this shape. That's surface area. All right, tune into the next video for problem number 2.